Welcome back everyone to Pontus Fathom Hobbies. This is Season 4, Episode 3 of Game of Thrones, and we're playing the Mother of Dragons expansion, and we're also using a Dance with Dragons expansion rules for this game. So that means the way we're adapting it for the game is to have, once we play through our house character cards, we will jump into replacing those decks with a Dance with Dragons decks for the available houses of Dance with Dragons. So this will sort of give us that progression through the Game of Thrones mythos material as we jump into the Dance with Dragons expansion. So we'll keep those set aside here. We're going to jump right into our first Westeros round. Before that, quick shout out to Pontus Fathom Press. 2-volume set Tales of the Yellow Sign. August Moldenhauer does the preface to Robert Chambers' King in Yellow, as well as editor of The Lost Carcosa and the Yellow Sign. Check those out in our bookstore link below. As usual, your comments, liking, subscribing, most appreciated. Check us out on Patreon. We've been adding some content over there, keeping a blog going on Boardgame Geeks. We've got our Instagram out there, and if you can like and subscribe and ring the bell, you'll get notified for not only Game of Thrones content. We're on Season 4 of our Game of Thrones gameplays, but you can check out our Joan of Arc gameplays and miniature painting. Also doing a full playthrough of the complete set of Eldritch Horror. We got Battlestar Galactica, Cthulhu Wars, Cthulhu Death May Die, Conan by Monolith, War of the Ring. Lots of great content out there. So if you guys could help us out, we could grow the channel to over 1,000 subscribers. Start doing some live streams and get this content out to other people, despite the YouTube algorithm. Okay, so enough said. We'll jump into turn 3. We'll move our round tracker. I've also got our victory points calculated out here, and we've advanced the Iron Bank to have the additional card, so we can actually move one more Iron Bank card out here, and people can bid on these as needed. So let's jump right into our Westeros slash Essos phase with our round cards, so we can turn these over and see what we've got. So first of all, for phase 1, we get Winter is Coming. Immediately shuffle this deck and then draw and resolve a new card. Okay, so I can grab this deck and we will give it a shuffle. And we'll draw a new card from this deck, and from there we can see we get we get a supply card. Supply says adjust supply track and reconcile armies. Okay, so let's go through and check out our supply track. So we'll start off with Baratheon. They've got 1 barrel. They've lost Kingswood, but they've gained Sunspear. So they have 2 barrels. So Baratheon can stay here. I'll just move these all off. Baratheon can stay at 2. And they currently only have 1 army that's double, so they're doing fine. Next up, we'll go to Lannister. And Lannister has gotten 2, 3. They've got 3 barrels, so we can put them at 3. And I believe their armies are also fine. Next up is House Stark. 1, 2 barrels. And so they can go to 2 as well. And I think they are also well within the range. Go to House Aaron. They've got 1, 2, 3. House Aaron has 3, and I think they're also fine. Tyrell has 1 barrel, 2 barrels, 3, 4 barrels. So Tyrell is doing quite well. Pike has 1, 2, 3 barrels. So they're fine as well. Sunspear has lost a barrel, but they have 1, they've gained 1 here in the Salt Shore. So we will put them at 1. And they have 2 and 3. They're fine with their armies. And then finally, House Targaryen has 1, 2, 3, 4 barrels, putting them up with Tyrell. And so they have 2, 2, 3, 3. They are also fine. So let's go right into the next Westeros card, which is Westeros card number 2. We also have to add 2 points to our wilding track. So maybe just grab that right now. Wilding track moves up to 4. The holder of the Messenger Raven. It says Dark Wings, Dark Words. The holder of the Messenger Raven, which will be House Lannister, can choose whether everyone bids on the 3 influence tracks. 2, everyone collects 1 power token for every power token they have, or this card has no effect. I think they will. Let's bid on our power tokens for every power token we have. So they've got 1, 2 power tokens, and we'll kind of go through everyone, giving them additional power tokens. Baratheon has only the 1 power token. Next up, we will go to House Stark. They have 1 power token on the board. And I believe that will be the same. Eyrie has 3, actually, so they gain 3. Targaryen gets 1. Sunspear has lost their main one. They get none. And Tyrell has 2. And Greyjoy has 2 as well. And that will do it for everyone. So that's very helpful for who it's helpful. And let us move on. Next is the 3rd Westeros phase card, and we have Storm of Swords. Defense orders cannot be played during this planning phase, so no defense orders is noted. And then finally our Essos phase. It says word spreads quickly. In turn order, each player moves a loyalty token to an adjacent area, if able. Okay. So they're going to move a loyalty token, if able to. So they're not able to. But we do get to add a loyalty token to Cracklow Point and the 3 towers. So let's grab 2 loyalty tokens, place those accordingly to Crackclaw Point and to, which was it? The 3 towers down below. So I think what we'll do is let's jump into planning phase. We've resolved the Westeros and Essos cards. Let's go into assign orders and reveal orders. So we'll jump into that next, and we'll do that live here in front of you. No defense orders can be played. Let's move this one down. So it's going to have to be somewhat in an attacking mode, I guess, is how we will look at it. down. Okay. So we'll have these play out as well. No defense tokens, but support tokens are available. So I'll just have these as support tokens. Let's have this one. So we're doing the iron right now. And we can have them move out here. And then we'll go off to Stark. And we'll have Stark move here. Have this move here. And we will have Stark here. And put some more here. Finally, you can put. We cannot play defense tokens this round, but we can play some other tokens here. So let's do that. Next, Baratheon. They've kind of. What we need is a mustering to happen. So, but in lieu of that, let's. Let's put that there. Let's put this here, and let's put this here, and we can move on to Martell, House Martell. They might want to go up to Starfall here. Here, and next we'll have Tyrell. Okay, so I think that's got everyone. We just need Targaryen, and we can we'll have to move this, and then we'll move this as well. And then we'll move this here. And then we'll have this one as well. And this one can be this one as well. And these can also be that. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for our assign orders. Let's jump into reveal orders. So for reveal orders, we'll just quickly flip these. So we've got Baratheon Sunspear conflict continuing. We've got Tyrell expansion happening. Some raids. We didn't play. Suppose we can move these up here, these here, I can play this one and this one. So we can reveal these all. These, this, revealing. We've got the Erie moving against the Lannisters. We've got the Greyjoys moving against the Erie and in the Arn. We've got potential fighting between Starks. It just seems like a raid, so it's not a full-on battle, but we got some mustering forces there as well. Okay, so let's check out resolving raid orders. So we've got a raid order here from Tyrell. We've got a raid order from the Narrow Sea against the marching order of the Arryn, so that gets nullified. So we can knock these out just to start out with. There's definitely some Stark having to advance on Erie, perhaps. Then we have, next is resolving combat. I believe we'll have Baratheon again, first combat moving in 1, and then second combat moving in 1 here to a sea battle between on the Sea of Dorne. And then we'll have forces march from Old Town to the Dornish marches, which are controlled by Tyrell. But then we'll have a stronghold here, a support against 3 towers. And then House Greyjoy will move on the Twins, and we will have okay, we'll keep going from there, but let's start out with some of those battles, and then we can keep going on resolving battles. And I think we will have, as we reveal the Targaryen forces here, we will have the first movement of Targaryen into the Bay, and the second movement of Targaryen into Dragonstone, which is defended by 2 here, but they're not in Dragonstone per se, but they're on that coast right now. So, and then we'll also move these 2 with an attack from the dragons can move to attack King's Landing and reclaim their position there, and then this dragon can move to claim the Mountains of the Moon. So retrieving those, and actually since this is just a retrieval, we can also have this dragon retrieve the Stony Shore. So we can replace all those. So let's go jumping into the combats here. We've got a sea battle between Sea of Dorne, between Baratheon and Sunspear. Let's just move their cards out for a moment, and we can get the characters appropriately out. And we'll have this one, and then Sunspear. We'll have okay, we will reveal these cards in a moment in the battle. So this battle between the Sea of Dorne, it's resolving in a very strange way. So first of all, we have a Saladar San from House Baratheon. It says, if you are supporting in this combat, the combat strength of all non-Baratheon ships is reduced to 0. So this ship is reduced to 0. However, they have Ariane Martell. If you are defending and lose this combat, your opponent may not move units into the embattled area. They have to return to the area from where they came. So we'll still have the battle commence, and it's 2, 3, plus 1. So basically, Baratheon has to retreat, and we don't have to. We just have to discard these cards. So we don't win. We win the battle, but the ship has nowhere to retreat to, so the ship is actually lost. And then we can go from there. So we can remove these back to here. We'll also go ahead and collect the Targaryen symbols. So what I'll do is, just for now, just to keep the placeholders here, the dragon here can claim this as Targaryen. Let's keep 2 in King's Landing. We have to do a combat. So the dragons will face the King's Landing of 5. Our dragon strength is 1. But we'll also get to play our card here. And we will use Ser Jorah of Mormont. Right, so we have Ser Jorah versus the King's Landing, and that will be 4, 5, plus 1 is 5, and that will go to, it's going to fall to Targaryen. So Ser Jorah of Mormont discarded. We can collect our symbol, which can move us up 1. For Targaryen, and we can return this one. We'll just place this one here. We have our symbol already captured. Okay, and then the next one is the dragon retrieves this symbol from the Arn. So now this is now in now the Mountains of the Moon are also controlled by Targaryen, so they can move up to 5 victory points. We claim this one back. So another victory point here. Next up, we have a combat between the Greyjoys versus the Arryn. So Greyjoys versus Arryn. Greyjoy has plus 1. The Arryn has minus 1. We'll pull out their characters. So let's get the Arryn out and the Greyjoy out. Greyjoy. And let's check out what we have here. And we'll go with Theon Greyjoy. Theon Greyjoy versus let's just go with Lisa Arryn. So Aunt Lisa versus Theon. So basically Theon gives a plus 2. Theon gives a plus 2. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is 2 minus 1 plus 1 is 6. So it's still going to lose. If you have a defense order, no. If you are defending the area, no. So between Theon and Lisa Arryn, Theon Greyjoy forces a retreat back to the Fingers. They claim the twins. And that's a victory for Greyjoy. And a defeat for House Arryn. So we can move these back now. Next battle, we have some more orders to resolve. I believe we have a dragon order. No, that is complete. We have a Moat Cailin plus 1. So we will see Moat Cailin move into combat with the twins. And we'll have Whitehall moving 1 and Winterfell moving 1. House Stark will leave behind a token on White Harbor. So that's fine. And then we have a battle between the Starks and the Greyjoys. So while Theon had his last victory, we will just move the cards out, and let's look for a Stark hero versus a Greyjoy hero. So the Starks will they'll go for broke because this is a big battle for them. So I think that they'll take Eddard Stark for +4. And the Greyjoys, this is also a big battle for them to lose, so they'll go right ahead with Euron Crow's Eye. So we've got Eddard Stark versus Euron. And we can place these back now. So let's calculate the battle here. We have 4, 5 versus 4. 4, 5 is 9 versus 8. Greyjoys get pushed back. Greyjoys also suffer a defeat. They lose one of their knights, and the twins goes to House Stark. So Greyjoy defeat there. House Stark wins. They also lose a knight in the retreating process. So that is going to wrap up. Oh, we've got this one here. Crackle Claw Point. They're going to move into Herring Hall versus the Lannisters. So House Aaron is going to move against the Lannisters. Let's have them leave behind a token in Crackle Claw. And that's going to be 4 versus 3, both +1, so it's 5 versus 4. And let's move Lannister and Aaron out to get their hero cards. Again, seems like a big one, so let's have it Tywin Lannister. If you win this combat, you gain 2 power tokens versus House Aaron. And let's have it be versus Bronze Jon Royce. So Royce versus Tywin Lannister versus Royce. So again, it's going to be 4, 8, 9 versus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 versus 9 is Lannister wins, pushing back 1, and Harrenhal is defended by Lannister and not turned over, and these get discarded. We can move House Aaron back, move Lannister back, and we'll have a bunch of cleanup to do after this. Okay, also can move these guys to the discard. Okay, that's looking like most of everything has been resolved. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, so we've got Targaryen dragons on the board. We've got Targaryen ships in Dragonstone. And we've got a small victory over the Sea of Dorne. Lannisters defend themselves against Aaron. Greyjoy's victorious for a moment, but then defeated by Starks. And that's going to wrap it up for the turn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in turn 4. Check out the link. Bye-bye.